Silicon Valley of California, and I invest in their companies. That allows me, that's my baby. That brings me, that's Spanish, that's entrepreneurship, that's people, that's conferences, that's innovation, that's inspiration. All of that results in something. Because we can all sit here all day long, all night long, all year long, and talk about the things that we love. Because that's easy, but it's much harder to actually do something about it. Right? So, what can we do about it? So, I want you to think about, and I'm happy to actually, who wrote down like 3 or 4 or 5 things? Raise your hand. Let's do you. Yeah, what are your 3 or 4 or 5 things? And then this will be a fun exercise for all of us. I want us to all think about what could he do with that idea to build a brand?
I wrote tech.
Tech.
Science.
Science.
Politics.
Politics.
Human rights.
Human rights.
I'm creative writing about books.
Creative writing, advocacy.
And social justice.
Social justice. Ideas.
Social media.
For?
Creating a social media that's equal to
Sure, that's possible. Good. What else? What else could he do? Yeah. What did you say about politics? Who said politician?
The teaching part for the politicians.
He could run campaigns for politicians using his tech. You could create a tech platform that's focused on politicians to expose their communities to the human rights issues that they most care about. Right? What else? Yeah. You could do public speaking about that topic. Sure. What else? Yep. Good. Give me that's exactly. Now we'll come back to him in a minute. Who else had 3, 4, 5 ideas? Yes.
I had children, self-love, helping others.
Children, self-love, helping others. Give me another one. You can do it. Children, self-love, helping others. What else?
Children.
Yeah, she said children. That was the first one. Try to give me the second. Children again. Don't get lazy on me. I'm up here working for you. You don't repeat children. I know we're having sex, but damn. You want twins? What's the fourth? Give me one more. Battered women. Perfect. Now we're closer. And this is important, and here's the thing, and I don't know your story, I don't know nothing about you, I'm not assuming anything about you. The thing that we really want the most is usually the thing that we don't say. So I actually think, just by your face, how you said battered women, that's actually the most passionate thing to hear about right now. And you said that last, didn't even make it on your list, for whatever reason. What I want you to all think about is this, like, the place that you are most scared and you feel most vulnerable about creating around, that's exactly where you should create around. The place that you are most scared and vulnerable to create around is the exact place that you should create around. Because that is your deepest truth. And with so much noise out there, if you are building a brand for the money, you will 100% lose. Because it will seep through your veins and through your pores, and everyone will know that you are just trying to ride some sort of trend to make money, and you don't actually care about it. That's why it is just the perfect time to only do something that you, because here's what people don't understand. Everyone says, if you do something you're passionate about, you'll make more money. Because you're passionate about it. And that's true.
So she already knows what's up.
You will make more money doing something you're passionate about, but it's not because you're passionate about it. The reason that you're going to make more money is not because you're passionate about it. The reason you're going to make more money is because you will spend every single waking minute that you can on that thing. So if I'm doing something, if I'm creating the next Uber, because I think that's the trend, and you're creating the next Uber because you know, because your best friend who was a girl was ripped off or raped or whatever in a taxi cab, and that's your reason because you are committed to safe transport, you're going to work 15 hours a day, I'm going to work 8, And even if we are the same skill level, you will win twice as fast because you've worked twice as hard, and you'll only be able to work twice as hard if you really love it. If you don't really love what you do, there's no way you can work on it. There's just no way. So it becomes much, much, much easier to work 15-hour days, which, by the way, is what it takes in a lot of cases to build something real. I'm still working like crazy 6 years in. My first 3 years, I worked 80, 90 hours a week. I had no fun. I had no spending. I didn't go out to dinner. I budgeted. I just cooked every single one of my own meals. I lived in a crappy apartment. I did because it's good to do, right? But and that will never ever work if I didn't love it. It's the same as living in New York City. Everyone's like, when should I move to New York City? I'm like, when you cannot imagine living anywhere else. Because otherwise you are going to hate this place. It smells, there's trash, there's rats, there's bed bugs, all these things that if you are not clear about, like, I really want to live in this city, you will get eaten up and spit out. It's the same thing building a brand. It's the same thing. Because then what's going to happen is once you get good, guess what happens? People come out and start attacking you. People come out and start finding trash on you. They start saying negative things. And that's why you have to be so mentally strong about your why that it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care at all what you say about me. I don't care because I know my own truth. Right? And I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So you have to think about, and this whole like rant was based on the fact that the last thing you said, I actually think is the thing that you're most excited about. Am I right? Okay. So this thing, whatever this battered women thing is for you, that's where you need to start to get real. All right. So now, what's your name? Embrace. So Embrace has these things: children, self-love, helping others, battered women. So maybe you can start a program for battered women and their children around self-love and how to heal each other after witnessing domestic violence. I'm making things up, but like now you're starting to understand my mind more, and I think it's a very valuable lesson no matter who you are. And I know there's 40, 50 people in here. Everyone's got very different interests. I'm trying to make this as like universal as I can. Find the things, the places where you are intersecting your passions and start to build something around that. I saw a bunch of, like, 3 or 4 hands go up during my talk. So who has questions, comments? What's up? Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, you see how like Brianna has been TV and then there's Matt. What happens when you have the same vision as someone else and it's like 50 businesses just like you?
You have to build a brand. You have to build a better brand. There's 1,000 other businesses like mine. I make videos for businesses. I make podcasts for businesses. I help them tell their story on social media. There's millions of people out there doing that. But we have a very successful business because I built a brand. Because people like me, and that trickles down. I can tell you're a good person. I can tell that instantly from the minute you talk. You're going to have no problem building a team that will be like you. The reason that I love my team, I love Oscar, I have 7 different people, they're all good people. And they all work hard and they're all kind. And for me, that's like, you have to work hard, you have to be visionary, you have to really believe in positivity. You can trust me to be kind. And so when things come up with clients, I'm not at all, like we had a big issue this week about a podcast that we launched for the city. There was a long delay. But the way that we all communicated, I was not worried that he would get frustrated and say something bad to the client. I wasn't worried about that. Because that's your thing. So the only way that you stand out when you have 15 competitors and it's more like 1,000, and now with the internet it's more like 1 million, is people will buy from you. Why'd you buy that shirt? Why'd you buy that hat? All of the consumption choices that we make as human beings basically is either out of convenience.
I do a lot of my purchasing from me and my children.
Yep.
So a lot of branding. It has to be a way to go product and now something that's going to I'm going to get the money's worth. That's what they want to be very frugal.
Yep.
AKA I'm cheap.
Yep.
So
That's good.
that's how I
That's fine, but that's fine. And I think, but the point, the most interesting point that you're making, you already know the answer to this. You're just kind of like talking through it. Is the brand. We all, and the more and more we learn about companies and about people, the more and more we learn about our. Listen, we are empowered as citizens in this country to do what? To spend our money. You know. The market will respond to how you spend money. And you will know how you're doing as a brand to see how people are spending their money on you. brand. Question.
I was gonna say, just to learn about how important authenticity is when you're building a brand.
It's the only way.
Like, you're not authentic.
Yeah.
People won't trust you.
And they'll sense it. You can sense it. You can sense it.
That's very important when you're creating a
And,
brand.
and I think that you made me think of another point. What's your name? Globus? Globus. Globus made me think of another point, which is we're spending this morning talking about building a brand. We're spending this morning talking about building a business. Let me be very, very direct with all of you. It's hard to build a business. Like the 5 or 6 people in this room that have business right now, you guys know it is fucking hard, right? It is hard and it takes a lot longer than you think. And the quickest way for your authenticity to get sucked out of you is when you are stressing money. Because then you're just trying to make a sale. And you will basically do anything to make a sale because you got to pay the rent. So my advice for everyone is, as you're thinking through building a business, or a brand, even if it's a part-time brand, just remember something. It's going to take a long time, and you need to be patient. So be realistic about, like, if you have to work a 9-to-5 job, I'm okay with that. I'm not up here sitting, people will call me after the talk, like, dude, I'm quitting my job tomorrow. I'm like, whoa! Wait, why? Because I have my passion, man. I found my passion with the sex. And I'm like, yeah, don't quit your job tomorrow. Like, don't do that. Don't quit your job until you either have enough money saved up where you cannot make any money for a while, 12, 18, 24 months even, or when your side hustle is making the same amount of money as your job, or look at your expenses and see if you're spending money on dumb things. Because a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people make $60,000 in a job, and they're like, all right, cool, I'm making 5 G's a month. I'm gonna get a nicer apartment. I'm gonna buy a car. They start buying things that they don't need because they have the money. Instead of, maybe you could have made $2,000 a month and done your own business and been a lot happier. So I'm all about that.
I said no hard feelings.
I'm very practical. Question.
When she just wanted to be friends, she
Yep.
was like, no hard feelings. And I was like, so I told her this time, I was like, no hard feelings, right? She was like, shots fired. You're right.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
So give me a specific question. Like, why are some big companies closing?
Yeah, why other are closing and other are still going over and over?
So what is an example
so that means
of
you
a
better come and chill with me,
question?
bro. If I could post them, believe me.
Yeah, hang on a second. So what is an example of a company that you think is
I
great?
don't get this on the
Amazon. Give me like 2 or 3 other companies that you think are growing that you respect.
Home Bureau and the other job. I got it out.
Uber?
Amazon, Uber, what else? Lyft, what else?
Apple?
Apple. What are 3 or 4 companies that are closing in your that you've seen lately close? Sears. What else? What is there? That's good enough. Sears, Toys R Us, Kmart. Well, Pathmark. So here's the thing. I think like with toys, like let's just look at Toys R Us for example. Okay, so what is Uber doing well? What is Lyft doing well? They're selling you on time. They're playing to your time card. You don't have to wait for a cab. How many times have we sat outside in Manhattan or in the Bronx or in Queens or in Brooklyn and we're waiting for our Uber to come and like 15 yellow cabs pass by? And you're just like, but you have been sold time. Uber has guaranteed you that in 4 minutes they'll be there. So even if you miss 15 cars pass by in the next 4 minutes, you're okay with that because you have certainty. So that's why Uber and Lyft are winning. They also have good branding. They also have great employees. They also have, they're also employing people. Something like Toys R Us, they just didn't innovate when they should have. Toys R Us should have turned their stores into a playground for kids.
Yeah.
They could have gone, and this is where I want us all to think, which is like, how can we become the most out-of-the-box thinkers ever? Toys R Us should have had like they should have done like a Play-Doh castle builder
Where's
parties.
the phone?
You know, they should have done slime parties. They should have done. They could have done so many things to turn that into an experience center. They could have turned Toys R Us into Disney. They really could have, and they didn't because they got comfortable because they thought that all their print marketing that worked in the 90s and early 2000s was going to still work, and the times have changed. So when you think through at building a big company, and you know, a lot of people are trying to think through building a big company, the best way to build a big company is to be so unbelievably good to your small customer base now that they become the ones that talk about your company for you. Make sense? Cool. Other questions? Or did you want to add something to that?
Well, I was gonna ask something about what's happening with our clothes and our big retailers.
Yep.
Because like they stay as retailers, like
Correct.
they didn't even make as much.
They didn't start selling online fast enough.
Yeah.
They didn't take advantage of Facebook ads. They thought that they're. I mean, I live on Upper East Side, and we were taking an Uber the other day, and I pointed out. Remember, Husker? I was like, dude, look, every block has three or four locations that are closed on the Upper East Side, and I told him I was like, dude, this is crazy. This is real. Like Amazon, it really is eating up the world, which is good news for people like us. Because guess who sells on Amazon? People like us. I don't want to spend $12,000 a month for a 300 square foot office on 77th and Park. I don't want to do that. I don't want that. And if you're selling dolls, you don't need it. But you can still use all the tools that exist right now to make good money doing it. That's what's exciting for me. That's the digital world that we're living in. Other questions? Yes.
How important would be the
Okay, so logos, I think logos are important. Are they the most important thing? No. Some people are like spending weeks and years, and Brian, I haven't started yet. And I'm like, dude, I saw you a year ago. You're like, but I can't get my logo right. I'm like, you are out of your mind. You know, I can't get my website isn't right. I'm like, you are out of your mind. Don't stress too much. Do the best you can, but remember this, and this is a great question because remember, Nike, Uber, Lyft, Apple. All of these words meant absolutely nothing to us when the brand started. What is Nike? Like, if you brought an alien to Earth and you said Nike, they'd be like, you know? So, all of these words, everyone's so stressed. Should I call my company this or this or this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it doesn't mean anything. Just like Nike meant nothing when they said, this is Nike. And now it means a lot because of what they built, not because of the name, not because of the logo. Make sense? Don't overthink the little things that don't really matter. Go here, Larry.
Do you think that in order to have a successful brand, you need great fans?
Yes.
Because,
You absolutely need fans.
yeah, because sometimes I feel like people are fighting, like, for example, the story, you know, you can have a bunch of stores that sell the same thing, but like around Christmas time, you will see huge lines just to get one little piece of things that it could be cheaper in other ways.
Yep.
So like, I think
You totally do. And you know the best way to build fans, and this is how I've done it, you just talk to them. I know, it sounds like kind of crazy, but I am blown away how many people that I've worked with that are building personal brands. They have 800 followers on Instagram, they have 300 followers on Facebook, and they'll come up to me and they'll be like, dude, the brand's not working. And I'm like, what do you mean? I only have 800 followers. I'm like, do you know what it means that 800 people on this planet care about what you say? It means a lot. Like, do you know how busy we all are? And do you know how many things if 3 people follow you, you should think about how you can make those 3 people's lives the best thing ever because they followed you. We are so unbelievably delusional right now about the numbers on Instagram. And I'm very, very passionate about this. Everyone is somehow thinking that the brand that they've built is either good or bad based on how many Instagram followers they have. I started a brand called the Latingo. Okay? Latingo means Gringo de Sangre, Latino de Corazon. Gringo blood, Latin of heart. Started a brand. I had 197 followers on Instagram. And my friends are like, dude, you're so lame. Like, 197 followers, that is so sad, you know? And I'm like, okay, how many followers do you have? And he's like, I have 122,000 followers. All right, cool. By the way, this friend that I'm mentioning that's 122,000 followers is totally broke. Broke as, like, has no, like, his girlfriend pays for everything. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool, so you have 100,000 followers, that's great. I have 197, that's great. So I get excited about these things. When people start to hate on me, I'm like, okay, here we go. So I take my phone, and I'm in Colombia, down in South America, and I'm on this beautiful balcony, and I take my phone, and I literally make, I'm not kidding you, I make 197 personalized videos. What's your name? What's your name? I'm like, Joseph, what's up, man? La tengo aquí. Like, love you, man. Just let me know if I can do anything for you. Hope you have a great New Year. Peace. And I did 197 of those. And I sent them to every single one of my followers. And that resulted in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of business. Because they're like, dude, like, I didn't know that you did branding. I'm trying to start a company. Can you help me? And I call my friend. I'm like, yo, bro, I just made like 10 G's on my 197 followers. How you doing? Your girlfriend still paying for your trips to the Caribbean? Motherfucker. Don't get it twisted. With 100 followers, you can do really great things. Please don't get your self-esteem and the success of your business wrapped up in how many followers you have. Okay? Make sense? That's how you build raving fans. And they all told someone else about me, and there was poor business. Make sense? Care about them as people. What can I do for you? Why are you here? Right? Question. Let's take
the first one. So do you think that it's important for us if we want to have a business to have social media?
Oh yeah. It's not important. It's you're dead if you don't have it.
Okay, so my next question is, you mentioned about your friend when you told her to go on the beach and do those
Yeah.
things, right? So for us who don't have any money to start, how would we
She didn't either. She didn't have any money to start. She had no money. But this doesn't cost any money, because here's how it, so let's get into your example. What do you want to do?
Well,
And I'm glad you're asking this question, because you actually would be shocked at how much money you don't need to start a business right now. And I'll give you exact examples of how to do it. Go ahead.
well, I would probably do something like a daycare. I have a lot of ideas, but daycare would be like the most, I think, successful.
So the daycare is you do have an expense in the space, right? So you will have to rent a space.
Right.
But I do think there's a way to do daycare without having a space first. So if I'm you,
At home. Right.
and I have no money, but you just said you don't want to spend money on this, right? So let's say how much money do you have right now that you can put into this daycare? Honestly.
I don't know.
If
None.
None. And that's a fine answer. None is a fine answer. Dude, I want to start a daycare. I have no money. What do I do? Great question. And I think it's like 99% of us, I started with $6,000 in the bank, and I live in San Francisco, which that $6,000 was like 6 weeks, you know? So, let's just play this out. You want a daycare? Do you have any sort of daycare experience? How many kids do you have?
I have two.
Your own children?
Yeah.
And do you do any daycare
Yes.
of other children?
Yeah.
How many?
Two.
Okay, you're two?
My two.
And two, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. All right.
Yeah.
Let's play this out as a case study. Here's what I do. All right. So you got 4 kids,
Okay.
right? You got 4 kids, and you do this daycare where? At your house?
My home.
Yeah. Where's your house? Here in the Bronx?
LeBron.
Okay, good. Yeah. How many more kids? How much do these? So your 2 kids, I'm assuming you don't charge them. How much? These kids are free. They're
The other
yours.
kids are free too.
The other kids are free too?
Yeah, because I like to do it.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. You guys are, and I also like to make videos that have speeches, but I gotta pay the rent, I gotta pay this fool, I gotta pay all these guys. So, let's just say, let's just make up some numbers. Like, how much money do you charge these 2 kids
the white one is
per
terrible.
hour?
Well, you can do about a week, so let's say I'm.
How much per week?
200 based on the age.
200 per week, per kid. 400 per week. That's $1,600 a month. Which, by the way, if you're making $1,600 a month on your business, it's not a bad start. You know, and this is another thing. I want us to all really celebrate, even if it's like the first dollar or the first $10. That's more than most people are making, honestly. So, let's just say you get $1,600 a month. How much money do you? What's your name? Andrea. How much money do you need a month to live comfortably? Your kids are fed. You're going to school. You're paying your rent. You're paying electricity. What's your baseline number?
Comfortably?
Yeah.
4,000.
Good. So check this out. You're halfway there already. This is what I mean. And I bet you could probably get this 4,000 down to 3,000 if you ate out 2 nights less a week. Let's just say.
Comfortably though, so I have to respond.
Okay, that's fine. But start. Okay, so 4,000. Let's say you can get it down to 3,200 just for the number's sake.
Okay.
All you need to do is get 4 kids in your daycare, and you make the 3,200 a month, and you are self-employed doing what you love. So, how would I do that? You need to get more awareness around what you're doing. So the first thing you do is, you tell the mother or the father of these 2 other children, free lunch is over, baby. I love you, but can you help me? I'm trying to start a business. And even if, I don't know who these kids are, maybe they're like your family. So because I saw you literally panic in your face. But like I read people like hardcore. Like you literally just almost had a panic attack when I told you to tell this guy or this girl that you're gonna charge them. So yeah, I know. You like this. You're like, well, yo, why do you hate my brother? You know, like, well, why do you hate me? Because I don't love you. So let's just say. Okay, so you're not going to charge them? Honestly, you're not going to charge them?
No, this is like, you told me about a business. I'm actually going for nursing. That's where my heart is at. But you asked about a business. I wouldn't start a nursing business. There's too many hospitals that open too many.
So you don't want to start a daycare like for a business?
No, that would be like a side thing. As far as like my major goal, I'm going to be a nurse.
Okay, but
you asked about like a side business.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
you can jump into that.
Oh, I thought you were saying like you wanted to start a daycare center. And I thought that was your question. Like, if I don't have any money, I want to start a daycare center.
No, I do have that question.
Okay.
I want to do a bunch of things.
Okay. So this you can do. You can do. So what you do is this. You have the 4 people, right? So for now, you can do it for free if you want, right? But what I would do is I would tell your brother or your sister or whatever family member it is. I'd be like, hey, can you help me a little bit with some cash? And then. And even if that isn't the case, what I would do is I would take advantage of these 4 kids, and this is actually a nice segue into part 2 of this talk, which is you guys all need to start thinking about how we can, so we have an idea of what the brand's going to look like. It's a daycare, it's a doll, it's a blah, blah, hang on, it's whatever it is, right? Now, we have our passion, we had our sex, we have our idea, we have our thing. Now what do? Because that's just in your head. Now we need to start putting it out into the world. Now we need to actually do the fun work, which is create the brand. Right? How do we create the brand? It's all about content. Right? So if I'm you and I'm trying to do a daycare center. How old are these kids, Andrea?
1, 3, 5. Well, technically 3.
So let's just say they're 1 to 5 years old. And let's just say that's the age group that you want to work with.
Yeah.
Right? You like the young kids. 1 to 5. So if I'm Andrea, I'm going to start thinking about what kind of content can I create. And what kind of content can Andrea create? What do you think, guys? Give me throw out 5 ideas of stuff that Andrea created. Andrea, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that you could have like daycare for since she wants to be a nurse,
Yep.
right? She can create a daycare for children of like serious allergies or something really
Good. That's a good marriage.
Like since
So give me that's a great idea. Give me a content idea.
a content.
Yep.
Like education?
Anything. Education. Yeah. I mean, people create content for 3 reasons: to educate. And people watch content for 3 reasons, right? They want to be educated, they want to be entertained, or they want to escape. Those are the 3 reasons we watch content. So, you either make really funny videos about these 1 to 5-year-olds, right? Or you educate. So give me an education example.
Safety.
Safety.
How to be like,
Most common safety concerns for 1 to 5-year-old kids in the Bronx. You could do a video about that. You could write an article about that. You could create a podcast about that. So safety concerns but again, this is where we got to go. We got to elevate it even a little bit more. So it's not just safety. It's not just safety concern for kids. You did a nice job pointing out where your interests intersect. So it's safety concern. Top 3 allergy safety concerns for 1 to 5-year-old children living in the South Bronx. Because that's going to be your segmentation that you can do. And then all of a sudden, it's hyper local, and it's so clear what you do. The problem with most service providers is they do so many things, no one knows what they do. There's too many things going on. So wait, do you do nursing? Do you do daycare? Are they 8 years old? Are they 10 years old? Are they 3 years old? Do they have allergies? Like, what do you do, right? And if you can start to get clear on that, safety concerns for allergy safety concerns for 1 to 5-year-olds living in the South Bronx. I have a 3-year-old in the South Bronx. This is highly relevant for me. I'm going to watch it. Right? What else? What else could you do, Andrea?
Well, what do you say content?
Content. Video. So content is one of 3 things. It's video, it's written, or it's audio. That's all content. You either watch it, listen to it, or you read it.
Probably people want to see videos.
Videos of what? Of 1 to 3 of the kids interacting, right? What else? Yes.
Business cards. That's how I got my son to 20-hour daycare. So we did some cards. So when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
When I was living on the floor, that's how I got her.
Business cards, old school business cards. Love that. Yep. Hey, who else, guys? An app? Yeah, but I think the idea is that the platforms already exist, right? There's already Facebook, there's already Instagram, there's already. So here's what I want you to say. Here's what I want you to think about next, which is for all of you. You need to start thinking about how do you build a brand around your thing. So how do we do it? Well, we have to have stuff out there in the world. People can't hire me to speak if they've never seen me speak. Oscar's here recording this. Why? Because I'm going to put it up on Facebook. I'm going to target CUNY students, and now CUNY students know what I do. And now CUNY professors know what I do. And maybe that will lead to another speaking job. Or maybe it will, more likely, help more people. And that's what I'm trying to do. Because it's a long game. Here's how I view this. You guys ready for this? This is actually pretty cool. And this is where I hope that I set myself apart. Most speakers are going to come in here today, and they're going to say, I want to inspire one of you. And I do. I actually want to inspire all of you. I want this to be like the best talk that you're going to hear all year. I want to do that. But here's how else this works. I see a lot of young faces here, and I think to myself, in 8 years from now, we'll be on stage together. Or in 8 years from now, you will have some senior level position at the hospital that you work at as a nurse, and it will be time for leadership training day at your hospital, and you're gonna think about me from 8 years before. Right? That's for me. The thing about a brand is that I believe this is a brand that I'm building forever. Like this is my brand that I'll build from now until I take the last breath on earth. And most people are thinking about like, how can I make $100,000 in the next year? I'm like, wrong strategy. Wrong strategy, because you're going to be working for more than 1 year. So why are you so worried about what's going to happen in the next year? Talk to me about where you want to be in 30 years. You want to build a company that has 1,000 employees. Your brand needs to act like that. Not someone that wants to like monetize every single second they can. Make sense? So in order to do that, I got to put stuff out there. How do I put stuff out there? I personally have a YouTube show, right? And I use that YouTube show as what I call my principal piece of pillar content. Meaning, I have on top of my content pyramid a YouTube show. So let's just say it's going to be, I'll just use this speech as an example, and you guys can tag your own thing in here. I'm going to give this talk, it's a couple hours long, we're going to put it up on YouTube. We'll probably edit it down to about an hour, right? Not very many people are going to watch the entire hour, and that's okay. Some of them will. 30 people might, 50 people might, 100 people might, 200 people might, 1,000. However many people do, it's okay. Because I'm using this as a principal piece of content, and then guess what I do with that from here? I take a clip of it, and I put it up on Facebook. I take a clip of it, and I make it a meme on Instagram. I take the audio from it, and I make it a podcast. I take the 3 most important points, and I make it an article on LinkedIn. And then I can also put it up on my blog on my website. Now all of a sudden, with this one piece of filler content, I am in 7 different places. So that if you're watching me on Instagram, and you're reading about me on LinkedIn, and you're driving to work tomorrow and listening to a podcast, you can consume my content on all those platforms. And you all need to be on all those platforms if you're going to build a brand. Because your consumers are on all those platforms. And some days I'm not on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook for weeks at a time sometimes, but I'm on Instagram 8 times a day. So what happens if you're only putting your content up on Facebook? You miss me. You lose me as a client. Or as a follower, or as a community, a raving fan. Make sense? So that's, when I think through, Andrea, when I think through you building a brand, let's just say you wanted to create a show, and that show is you talking to the parents of 1 to 5-year-old children. You just get on your phone and you just jam for 1 hour, and you're like, hey, or 20 minutes. Here are the 3 things that I'm seeing that are happening. If this is happening in your home, please be careful because here are the problems, and here's how I'm seeing it. I'm a registered nurse, blah, 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 blah. And then you put that up, and then here's the cool thing. Once you put it up on Facebook, you can actually target, and this is wild, you can target parents of children that live in the South Bronx. Did you know that? That's crazy. So I can run a Facebook ad and be like, if you have a 3-year-old son in the South Bronx, you need to watch this video. And then guess who I run that Facebook ad to? Mothers that live in the South Bronx that have a